The confrontation. The grand chamber of the Galactic Conclave stretched 2 kilometers across, its curved ceiling displaying a real-time map of the known universe. Nearly 3,000 representatives from the Conclave's member species occupied the tiered seating that encircled the central speaking platform. Most had never seen a human in person before. Ambassador Ilara Chen walked with measured steps toward the platform, her simple gray diplomatic uniform standing in stark contrast to the ornate robes and bio-augmented exoskeletons of the alien delegates. At 43, she carried herself with the confidence of someone who had risen through Earth's unified diplomatic course on merit rather than political connections. Her dark hair was pulled back tightly, revealing the neural interface at her temple, standard for human diplomats, though this particular one contained modifications unknown to the Conclave. Representatives of the Galactic Conclave, she began, her voice clear and amplified. For 73 years, humanity has maintained peaceful contact with your civilization. We have followed your regulations, limited our expansion to approved systems, and shared our cultural achievements while receiving yours in return. The chamber remained silent. The archivists, the oldest and most powerful species in the Conclave, watched from their elevated position. Their translucent bodies pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, a sign of their internal communications. Today, I come before you not with requests for trade routes or colonization permits, Ilara continued. I come with evidence. She activated a holographic display that expanded above the platform. It showed excavation sites across Earth, the Gobi Desert, Antarctica, the Mariana Trench, and the Amazon Basin. 6 months ago, we discovered monitoring stations buried deep within Earth's crust. Stations that predate human civilization by thousands of years. Stations that have been actively transmitting data about our species since before we discovered fire. Murmurs spread across the chamber. The Veilkeeper representative, Zoran Mesk, rose from his seat. His species resembled bipedal reptiles with iridescent scales and multiple eye clusters. Ambassador Chen, these accusations are unfounded. The Conclave has strict protocols against interference with pre-spaceflight civilizations. Ilara smiled thinly. Indeed, Protocol 7.3 explicitly forbids it. Yet these stations bear the unmistakable energy signature of archivist technology. The archivists' bioluminescent patterns intensified. Their designated speaker, High Curator Tluxa, floated forward. These claims require verification. If such stations existed, they would be remnants of scientific outposts established before the Conclave's formation, with no bearing on current relations. Ilara tapped her neural interface. The holographic display changed to show laboratory footage of humans disassembling one of the stations, reverse engineering its components. We not only found them, High Curator, we studied them. For decades, we believed your technology was centuries beyond ours. Now we understand you've merely been keeping certain advancements from us. 5 months earlier, Dr. Vikram Patel had stood in the underground facility beneath the Himalayas, staring at the alien device. Its crystalline structure defied conventional analysis, yet his team had managed to access its data storage. It's been collecting genetic samples, he told Ilara, who had just arrived from Geneva. Not just observing, but actively harvesting human DNA throughout our evolutionary history. For what purpose? Ilara asked, circling the floating device. Vikram shook his head. Unknown, but there's more. These stations communicate through quantum entanglement, technology the Conclave claimed was theoretically impossible. They lie to us, Ilara said simply. Yes, and we've managed to replicate it. Vikram pointed to a smaller device on the laboratory bench. This prototype can penetrate their communication networks. We've been listening for weeks. Back in the conclave chamber, Ilara continued her presentation. The archivists have maintained their position within the conclave by controlling access to advanced technology. They've systematically classified emerging species, including humans, as developmental to justify technological restrictions. The chamber erupted in noise as representatives from dozens of species began shouting questions or denials. The Veilkeeper's security drones moved closer to the platform. "This is sedition," Zoran Mesk declared. "The human speaks treason against the natural order of the conclave." Ilara remained unmoved. Is it treason to question a system designed to keep newer species permanently subservient? Is it sedition to demand equality? High Curator Tlux's voice resonated through the chamber, automatically translating into all known languages. "Ambassador Chen, these accusations threaten the harmony of the conclave. The hierarchy of species is based on developmental readiness, not arbitrary restrictions. Humans have been granted generous concessions despite your young civilization's violent tendencies." "Concessions?" Ilara laughed, a sound that made several nearby delegates flinch. "You mean the permission to colonize 7 systems while the Veilkeepers control 300, or perhaps the trade agreements that consistently favor conclave founders over newer members." She tapped her neural interface again. The hologram displayed a new image. Massive orbital structures hidden beyond Jupiter. "While you believed we were building simple habitats and research stations, humanity prepared for this day. We have constructed defenses and weapons based on your own hidden technology." Gasps and shouts filled the chamber. Several representatives immediately left their seats, rushing to communicate with their governments. "This is an explicit threat," Zoran Mesk shouted. "The conclave will not be blackmailed by primitives." Ilara's voice cut through the chaos. "Not a threat, Representative Mesk. An ultimatum. Humanity demands full membership in the conclave with equal access to all technological developments. We demand the immediate removal of all monitoring stations from Earth and our colonies. We demand reparations for 73 years of deliberate suppression." Or, High Curator Tlux's bioluminescence had turned crimson, a rare display of emotion. "Or we will apply what we've learned from your hidden technology in ways you never anticipated." Ilara paused, letting her words sink in. "You have 48 Earth hours to respond. We prefer diplomatic resolution, but we are prepared for alternatives." As security drones surrounded her, Ilara activated a final command through her neural interface. Throughout the chamber, the delegates' communication devices simultaneously received the same message. Detailed schematics of Earth's defense systems and the location of human fleets already positioned near key conclave worlds. The message was clear. Humanity would no longer be underestimated. The reckoning. Admiral Helena Okafor stood on the bridge of the EDF Intrepid, Earth's first quantum drive battleship. Through the view screen, she watched as the conclave's response fleet emerged from hyperspace. 30 vessels of varying sizes, primarily Veilkeeper designs with distinctive angular hulls. "They're hailing us, Admiral," her communications officer reported. On screen, Helena ordered, straightening her uniform. At 54, she had spent half her life in Earth's defense forces, rising through the ranks during humanity's cautious expansion into space. The screen displayed a Veilkeeper commander, his scales shifting color in agitation. "This is Fleet Commander Xask of the Conclave Defense Force. Your vessels are in violation of restricted space. Power down your weapons and prepare to be escorted back to your designated territory." Helena smiled thinly. "Commander Xask, this is Admiral Okafor of Earth's Defense Fleet. We are exactly where we intend to be. The Conclave has rejected our diplomatic proposal, so we are proceeding with alternative negotiations. Your primitive vessels cannot hope to." Xask began, but Helena cut the transmission with a gesture. "Execute Phase 1, she ordered. Throughout the formation of human ships, specially designed quantum disruptors activated simultaneously. The effect was immediate. The conclave vessels' external shields flickered and failed as their quantum communication networks collapsed. On Earth, Ilara Chen waited in a secure facility beneath the Pacific Ocean. Officially, she was under house arrest following her provocative address to the conclave. In reality, she was directing the human response from what had become humanity's military headquarters. Admiral Okafor reports Phase 1 success. Her aide announced, "Veilkeeper shields are down. The Archivist's command vessel is attempting emergency protocols." Ilara nodded. "And our allies?" "Signaling now." The diplomatic gambit had been risky but necessary. While publicly confronting the Conclave, Ilara's team had been working secretly with representatives from other developmental species who had also discovered the truth about Archivist manipulation. The Nexari, crystalline beings from the Orion sector, the Drovians, a collective consciousness species, and even a faction of the Veilkeepers who resented the Archivist's control, all had pledged support if humans took the first step. In orbit around Conclave Prime, the seat of galactic government, 3 Nexari vessels suddenly changed course, placing themselves between the planetary defense grid and approaching human ships. Simultaneously, communication hubs on 7 major worlds experienced unexpected failures, courtesy of Drovian infiltrators. Back at the battle line, Admiral Okafor watched as confusion spread through the Conclave fleet. Without their quantum communications, they were forced to use conventional signals that human intelligence could easily intercept. "They're preparing to fire conventional weapons," her tactical officer reported. "Hold position," Helena ordered. "Let them make the first aggressive move." When the Veilkeeper vessels launched their attack, the human ships activated their adaptive shielding, technology reverse-engineered from the monitoring stations, but significantly enhanced by human innovation. The energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against the shields. "Return fire," Helena ordered. "Targeted disabling shots only. We want to demonstrate capability, not destroy." Precision beams lanced out from the human vessels, striking propulsion systems and weapons arrays with surgical accuracy. Within minutes, 23 of the 30 Conclave vessels were effectively neutralized without a single casualty. On Conclave Prime, the High Council of Archivists convened an emergency session. High Curator Tlex's bioluminescent patterns displayed clear agitation as reports of the battle and widespread communication failures arrived. "How is this possible?" demanded Elder Curator Vostra. "Humans should not have this level of technology. They reverse-engineered our monitoring technology," Tlex had admitted, "a contingency we never prepared for. Worse, they formed alliances with other developmental species. The system has maintained peace for millennia," another archivist protested. "We cannot allow it to collapse because of one species' ambition." The chamber doors slid open, and to the archivist's shock, Ilara Chen walked in, accompanied by representatives from the Nexari and Drovians. Her neural interface glowed as it actively translated the Archivist's bioluminescent communications. "Your system hasn't maintained peace," Ilara stated. "It's maintained control. There's a significant difference." "How did you penetrate our security?" Tlexa demanded. The Nexari representative stepped forward, crystalline structure glittering. "Many of us have suspected the truth for centuries but lacked the courage to act. Humans provided that courage." "What do you want?" Tlexa asked, luminescent patterns dimming in resignation. "A reorganization of the Conclave," Ilara said. "Equal representation, equal access to technology. An end to the artificial classification of species based on your arbitrary criteria." "Impossible," an elder archivist declared. "The developmental hierarchy is founded on actual capability and evolutionary maturity." "Is it?" Ilara activated a holographic display showing the current battle. "Your most advanced vessels disabled without casualties by a supposedly developmental species. Your impenetrable communication network compromised by those you classified as primitive." She stepped closer to the archivists, fearless despite their ancient power. "Humanity doesn't want to destroy the Conclave. We want to transform it into what it claims to be, a true community of galactic civilizations." Hours later, as news of the Conclave fleet's defeat spread across known space, representatives from 87 species demanded an emergency session of the full Conclave. The chamber that had hosted Ilara's confrontation days earlier now witnessed something unprecedented. An archivist speaking not from the elevated position of authority, but from the central platform as an equal. High Curator Tlux's translucent form pulsed with subdued patterns as he addressed the assembly. For 12,000 years, the archivists have guided the conclave, believing our experience and wisdom justified our authority. Today, we acknowledge that guidance became control, and control became stagnation. A new charter was proposed, one that abolished the developmental classification system and established a rotating council with representation from all member species. Technology sharing would be mandatory, with oversight committees comprising diverse species at different technological stages. As the voting concluded with overwhelming approval, Ilara stood with Admiral Okafor and representatives from their allied species. The human fleet remained in strategic positions throughout conclave space, not as an occupying force, but as guarantors of the transition. Will it last? Helena asked quietly. Change never comes easily, Ilara replied. But we've created something unprecedented. A galactic community founded on genuine equality rather than hierarchical control. The Drovian representative, a swirling consciousness contained within a humanoid form, joined them. What humans achieved in days, many of us contemplated for centuries without acting. Your species' determination is illuminating. Ilara looked out at the assembled representatives, beings of incredible diversity now engaged in animated discussion about the new order. Humanity has always excelled at questioning authority and imagining alternatives. It's both our greatest flaw and our finest quality. As the session concluded, High Curator Tluxa approached Ilara. His bioluminescent patterns formed complex sequences that her neural interface translated as contrition mixed with curiosity. We underestimated your species, he acknowledged. Perhaps that was always our fundamental error, believing we could predict the development of any sentient life. A common human saying, Ilara responded with a small smile, is that life finds a way. We've survived ice ages, asteroids, and our own destructive tendencies. We weren't going to be held back by artificial restrictions. As they looked out at the stars displayed on the chamber ceiling, now marked with symbols representing all conclave members equally, Tlux's patterns shifted to something her interface interpreted as cautious optimism. The archivists have recorded the history of this galaxy for eons, he said. Today begins a new chapter. Let us hope it proves wiser than the last. Humanity had delivered its message to the stars. Respect us as equals or face the consequences. The galaxy would never be the same.